I just saw you filling out a form, and well, and the woman who tried to help her. Hi, you two. Hi, gang. I once didn't care that it would cause trouble anymore. Because whenever you make your way to the States, first of all in Hamburg, there was a bomb threatening. So everything was whoops. Everything. I mean, they closed everything down in no time. And that meant get out. And then, oh God, the ways around. I said, I cannot walk that well. I would need to go to the elevator. The other terminal should be used, is what we were told. I really cannot. Could you tell me where I should go? Just walk around the block, so to speak, and then you'll end up right here, make it into the building a few meters from here, over there, and you can walk. I said, that's just what I just said. I couldn't walk that much, and you didn't say one little bit when that amount of travelers, or I don't know, passengers squeezed each other into the elevator. But no, I simply am not able to do so. And there was, with all the luggage and that, I don't know if you call that a flight attendant who has to work behind it. But, well, I'll do the paper stuff when you come in. I just can't come up with that word anymore because that was hilariously way. I mean, what all those things that happened. Okay. He said, well, just good luck. Have a nice day. Have a nice day. He just said, well, it was a bomb threat. Okay, well, since nobody seems to be hurt right now, it might go and going on and nothing at all may be going on because simply somebody could have left his luggage at the terminal where he could check in. But they don't know fun and messing around with that stuff because everybody has to be removed. And the one who brought me there said, did I park my car wrong or what? Because all of a sudden you saw police everywhere. And I said, no, I don't think so, because where would you go with that car when you can even leave the building? Because it's stuffed and they behaved pretty good. So I made it to the terminal next door. I almost said. The lady's first day at work. I felt like in the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. You should see that. It's a hint of strange stuff that I went through throughout the years. No, I just was all about to give you perfect insight about that movie, because Steve Martin thinks he will be on time, right? For Thanksgiving. And who else? It was confused by that. Why go? I don't care, because if everybody has a good time, it's worth just about everything. But you're messing with the wrong girl. There's a song I like. You're messing with the wrong guy. When he finally thought it was about time to freak out, after he made it to Chicago and had to face the most hilarious things anywhere. But it goes on like that. Bam, bam, bam. And then I always am stranded. Well, and they have this meet and assist service you can book ahead of the time, because London Heathrow is giant, and you'll have to enter a bus and then drive all the way there. It seems like you could exclusively give everybody a tour. Right to your right, you can see where Queen Elizabeth just has been seen doing her own shopping by herself. So, and on that side, you could see, fine, great. So I was on this meet and assist. First of all, she didn't want me to enter the train anyway. She said, well, I need a doctor's kind of prescription or test. That's even more serious. No, I don't. I said, I don't think so. Why? Because I was here before, it should be on the records, and I am standing in front of you. I wouldn't have made it here if I couldn't move. I just cannot explain. Look at those people behind me. They all tried to check in, so I... Yes, and it's my first day here. Okay. No, I booked that service, and I would appreciate it if you would let somebody know to lead me out of here. And sometimes they have these vehicles, and it makes things lots easier. But at the same time, you're constantly reminded not to leave your luggage alone, or it could be picked up and destroyed at times, and nobody should take something or put something into somebody else's luggage, blah, 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 the entire deal. They said it so often that people just didn't pay attention anymore, obviously, because one young man left. And who showed up? A nice lady. And asked me, is this yours? No, I said. It belongs to somebody else who was waiting here. Where did he go? How am I supposed to know that? I can't help you with that. He just might get something to drink. It's not the best area in here. Everybody's nervous, and maybe he has just some time to look around. But he should have taken that along. His laptop. He didn't. Bye-bye, laptop. There it went. And along with that lady. She had to confiscate it? That stuff? Yeah. And everybody freaked out then because the computers didn't. First it was fog over London. And everybody... And I said, why are you so excited? You're not even off the ground yet. There's no need to be that. Come on, I mean, I would be scared if I was right in the middle of all that, because it went on. I'll tell you anyway. Don't hide. Because I think I was the bravest person, so was the entire personnel, and human, and no machines, and I could explain the dilemma I was in because I had to change my clothes. And if you ever have been in the situation to do that, you know exactly no way that stuff that could be on board could be brought on board of a plane, and the person who needed that wouldn't have to put it there. That was very serious stuff. Some people would be mistrusting that, and then for a good reason. Because, well, we'll all be sad. Today? What's the date? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but forgive me. It's pretty late in Germany. So I went to the lady behind the counter. I said, I need to go in there, but if I take everything with me, I won't be able to change my clothes. But you may not leave it alone. I know, I said, but I cannot take it in there with me because I needed something else to do. as well. Huh. Well, I simply need that thing with me because I need a few things in there. But we were both... this thing and I wouldn't fit in there even if we tried to. At least not now, or I'll spend another 6 hours to go on a diet. Is there nowhere where I can give that to that is not that far away and then could be found without a map? But I'm just kidding around because this is getting ridiculous. Look at all those people freaking out because nothing happens to them. They're taken care of. And I may not leave it with a total stranger. That's one of those things that definitely is required, and you better should listen to it. I don't know what to do. I can see, no one said to me. You're spending quite a few hours here, right? Uh-huh. Yep. But hey, I said, if I spend it here or there, might not be that difficult to handle. And she said, well, give it around. I'll keep it for you. Thank you. I said, may I get myself something to drink too, or will that be gone all of a sudden or freak you out? You may have a look at that. I'll unpack everything. I don't... Even if that doesn't help you any further, because you have to make sure that I'm healthy, and the other ones too, and now you have to take care of the luggage as well. But she said, no, don't start. I simply think you can go there. That's all. Maybe she just didn't want to listen to my English because I really didn't pay very much attention to a correct British English, which I wouldn't have understood myself because they have a very strong accent at times. They come from all over Britain. I mean, of course there are dialects. Not the one they taught us in school. Because one day our teachers told us, hey, you have to make up your minds. You either speak British English, and we'll learn that, or speak entirely with an American accent, but you have to make up your mind. And since it made more sense, I said American, and so there I was, but that was back in school. Well then, why was everybody so surprised it was foggy? That's Great Britain. Of course there will be some fog. It could be. I saw shiny days too, but they are never mentioned, that's it. And so I did that, and oh god, that room was packed full of people. I mean, everybody seemed to want to dress up, especially great, because of what? I thought, where's my brain, the part of it that isn't knocked out immediately by that strange impression, different impressions it has to cope somehow already. Somewhere sleeping behind in the back of your head are already dead. Okay, so I thought, well, what the... I mean, no, I can handle that. Then everybody freaked out because the computers broke down. Oh no, computers, they don't work. Oh my god. I'm supposed to leave in a few minutes and the computers are not working. You won't go anywhere. That's what I said. Forget it. That's why they write that down. It's cancelled. Until the message. They wouldn't type in, oh dear. We have no clue how we would fly that plane if you entered it. So, let us think about something. We don't want to scare you, but at the same time we may not take off or even fly. They wouldn't do that. So I said to her, well, you're in a safe area here. You seem to be a nice person. Everybody else is friendly. No big deal. You didn't even take off. So that would be a point where I would think, the computers are not working, and I am supposed to travel, although these new. Who cares about a few hours? It was boring because I didn't drag one of those giant computers that are still working and are right here, where, and had another address. There were no cell phones or mobile phones like this. iPhones, nothing like that. Because I simply had to ask somebody to help me out because I didn't get it, and everything was pretty clear then. Oh no, don't be afraid. I'm not afraid, I said. Mm-mm. But as you see, somebody else is. Just about everybody else. Why are they freaking out? Simply because they are told that the flight has to be delayed. Every flight has to be delayed. Because they are delayed. Deleted. No, not deleted. They are there. Not. Oh my dear. Since those computer problems we have, nobody will leave the ground. I thought so. I said, well, obviously somebody else doesn't get it. Did you ever try to think about something else? Because everybody wants to know everything about that, and some people work here. It could be a good idea, not no. Well, anyway, I said, forget it. I was just thinking a bit loud. Well, I looked left, I looked right. They fell asleep on their luggage they weren't supposed to keep or give away or never hand over to somebody else you don't know. Or they will ask you. They could ask me if I accepted that from a stranger. Right? Could happen, I don't know. And I thought, obviously you are pretty strange right now because you're standing completely beside yourself, and don't even get out of that mode. You're safe. You can sit down and relax until they fix the problem, and then everything may go as it should. They won't leave you here. And since you didn't accept something of somebody else, everything should be okay. They would be caught in no time if they tried to, I think. And I thought, why are you making such a fuss about nothing? They even let us know that we can count on a few more hours here. Isn't that nice enough? Ha ha, how nice. Okay, try to see the positive and say, well, at least it won't be boring when I write my first postcards. But I think I need to buy an entire set of notebooks because, I mean, those of paper. Try that book. Who cares? Well, they will try to find me, but then I needed to go to the bathroom, and of course they kept it for me, just like they did before me. I said, you don't have to be in trouble and may risk your job, but I have to go there, and that bag, and I will not fit in there together. Which could be a slight difficulty. A difficulty because you may have to help out. And that could be scary for somebody else too. They seem to be very nervous. I don't feel that way. Oh, okay. As long as I know that you will be here already, because pretty soon it should be solved, you may be picked up to be put out of that vehicle you are traveling with to have a seat in your plane. I said I'll do my very best. And of course, I gave them my name, which was immediately, I mean, in a situation, and at that point of time, I wasn't really ready to leave that lady's room. Well, would have guessed? I thought, God, your sense of humor is just marvelous and always works, huh? But could you make it a little less exciting for everybody else? Because I can understand that. They don't. So I had my little chat with God. Boarded the plane. They were nice. And then came the forms. I used 3 of those. And it was much less to take care of. But if you're a tourist going into America, you have to tell them why, if it was for business or vacation, and how much, if you carried more than that kind of amount of money with you, if you accepted some luggage from somebody else. No, I just got here. Had time to find somebody else to hand it over to. No. And no, I cannot answer that. They are asking me stuff like, which is fairly funny, like, do you carry anything like trees, bushes, green stuff to plant, or plants in general? No, I didn't bring along my tree collection this time, because they won't fit in the bus anyway. Let's see what else they got. Do you belong to some criminal, it's a kind of a crew, a gang, or group? No. And if somebody used with the mafia, he wouldn't use that service. And at least he wouldn't give you the full... Yes, here I am, a criminal. Although I decided to make those last days less exciting, I still want to Yes, every criminal would immediately say, "Here, catch me if you can." And the next thing was, are you at all capable? Are you suffering from something that is physically or mentally, well, anyway, if you had that, you were directed to the next. I could think, I mean, I could talk properly. All I couldn't come up with is a new way to run if I couldn't walk any in the first place. But we may be inventing some nice people at times, but that was definitely not one of my skills. I would like that though. But they didn't offer it for those waiting people. And then they wanted to ask. They asked, not only did they want to, they had to ask that. Did you tell the truth? No, I had to lie, and you are the one who makes me do that, although I don't want to. I can't, no, I didn't think like that, but I felt like that. So I went to the lady at the counter and said, could I have another? No, that was on board of a plane. Oh God, I'm flying around to... Yes, arrest me. I'm ruining the entire system. Because that plane I was in might have not... I said, this is getting ridiculous. I need another form. I looked at it. Oh, come on, that's... Because they had a coffee break. The one time. A 6-hour flight. Times 2 or 3. And me. And I thought, this is... Who put that stuff together in the first place? I would like to know a few things, if you don't mind. We don't mind. Come. What's your problem? Well, I don't have a problem, but the one who developed this piece of paper here obviously had. How can I tell them that I don't? Why did they put that together in the first place? The mental stuff and the physical stuff that somebody could be suffering by. Even if it would be one thing, I would have been required to see the next embassy. Who would have? That's what they wrote, yes. Would control everything and anybody. Bueller. I don't know. It was ridiculous. I said, see, here. You can't even give you an honest answer at this thing, because they would immediately think, maybe. Why should they write it down if they wouldn't do it? Have to see an ambassador who would say, okay, she's healthy, she may travel. But why should I travel? If I would be stuck there, because those who wanted to pick me up wouldn't find me. And besides that, and even if I lie on that, when it comes to that, they asked me, didn't you lie? Were you a good girl, so to speak? Didn't you lie? Damn, I said no. I don't want to, but they are forcing me to. May I ask you something? Yes. I hope so. Of course. He may ask you something. I was angry already. And they thought, she's right, but what can I do? Come on, give me that form. See? And if I would have answered that correctly, I couldn't answer this correctly. Impossible. I just have 2 words to say. Impossible. If I would have even ticked out there, I would have been... They could keep an eye on me, but they did that anyway, so I didn't have to deliver the perfect little show that they just needed. That's what we need. Great. There, look. And the man said, well, I think I wrote that again before. Because this is almost a half an hour. It's a disease. You may not treat me rudely, and you may not make fun of people with diseases like I want an answer. I mean, one that makes sense, or at least makes you think, but later you won't be dumbfounded and then look like a complete dumbbell. And I think they develop that to just make me feel bad. They are just... Couldn't they have thought about something? Couldn't they at least respect that this is a day we all should be thinking over every now and again? I didn't say that, but one made a bet with his colleague. It's okay. When he may ask you for a few questions, of course. Do you live way up north in Germany? Close to the coast, maybe? And he described that pretty good where I came from. He gave some signs to his colleague and he said, it's okay. I'm just asking you. Because I asked, why? Why do you want to know where I come from? Because I was pretty sure I knew that accent. And I knew that behavior. She's okay. She's fine. My girlfriend lives in a an area like that. That's how I knew. Uh-huh. He thought I know that. Ah, I won. They filled out the form. They signed it. They said, give me that form. I said, see, it should be that easy for everybody. You just don't have to think that over if you make it cross. And if there was... The only thing you have to think of is make it on the right place and the right side. Give them what they want to hear. Okay, said the giantly and dangerous mafia boss who just sneaked in there, keeps sneaking in there every now and again. I don't know how tall you are, but some areas in plains are not that giant, and even smaller people have a hard time balancing around their food, while somebody else is destroying everything. It was a gift, a blanket, the shades, and a toothbrush, which reminds me. I didn't say something. Totally innocent and never lie. But I did, and I gave them a hard time, and they didn't mind it. It seemed like they might have had that reaction before. And then I arrived in Baltimore. I think it was Baltimore where I had to wait. I don't recall that. I mean, I was that person that really needs to be taken back and forth. But that was impossible. Because they did forget that was a bunch of stairs. So I had to walk. And what are you saying to the about 80-plus-year-old lady that just had to take her shoes off herself to prove that she's not covered in bombs? You may not even say something that comes close to that if somebody is in a bad mood. Well, I in a worse mood after that tantrum I threw there because I was... Really? I didn't mind fog. I didn't mind a computer breakdown or the system crashed. I still trusted the pilot and the crew. And the British Airways. After all, it wasn't boring. And they gave me a first-class kit that was supplied with calm and everything just from another section of the plane, which wouldn't be on the ground sooner anyway. So let them book their places. At least they can sit down and have no trouble. Everything will be in order. They have more space for their legs. They don't give a damn what they left behind. Twister alert. Tornado. May I ask you something? I said to her. But I don't want to insult people. But who did this? And I hope you don't have to tidy the space up. No, we don't have to. Somebody else does that. Who? Who would leave a place behind like a bomb that just was tested at the same time? Look at that place. They were so kind to give those people everything they needed for a flight. In a little package. And you could watch TV and... Those are the Indish people, I think, we just had here. They were there before. And when they leave something, they toss it over their shoulders and that just goes somewhere. And you're German. I already know that. Strange enough. Even if you travel and It's the cheapest possible flight. It will arrive there at the same time that somebody else's plane arrives, who paid about a few thousands more. But it's too long to feel comfortable there, and those seats are just as good, even better. But I thought, well, what could happen? I will just sit down and move around as anybody else, if I want to. But I didn't. I used my seat belts, and I wrote a little note and said thank you. What a nice crew. And I felt safe. And everybody had a good mood, and it was a pleasure. I hope you have a nice day, and that's what since I wasn't allowed to go in the cockpit, that stopped. Those days are over. But that doesn't have to keep us from being nice. And I still have that little first class amenity and stuff. You could take some cream and your lips, everything would be in order and make the flight more relaxed than really necessary, because everybody was tired, and they even could choose between the movies. And then I had a laughing attack because on the flight back I did. Yep, but then Thanksgiving stuff is right. They overbook the flights. The planes have a certain capacity, but even if you book the flight and are not on time, they turn into something that is known to everybody else and almost expected. Being on time is a German thing, right? No, it isn't. And take your time. Just don't crash. Aren't you a bit scared? No. Why not? Well, I could if you want me to, but I mean... Why should I be scared? Simply because we had some turbulences, which I didn't mention so far. They happened too. Those things where the plane just goes down, and they could see it before. Want everybody, please buckle up. Get everything in order and blah. We will go through some turbulences. Okay. Great. Entertainment. Okay. They don't miss one little bit about that. They delivered. And everybody else, where can I hold myself? All of a sudden they were so busy looking at that. What could block the way out, and then maybe themselves. It already amuses me when I hear somebody say, there's a slide and a whistle that you have on your life vests, and once, it never happened though, but just in case of an emergency, you have that on this side, and then you can use it while we wait down there in the water. Yeah, I thought exactly, genau. Absolute. I will be probably, if I made it out of that plane on time, which I certainly hope, because I would have 60 seconds, and a professional fireman would just say, no, I can't stand this anymore, it's getting 90 degrees Celsius. That's where it's going to. And you have 90 seconds. Maybe I just should stop talking because I'm getting confused. Isn't that nice? There are still things who can confuse me. I'm alive. So are the other ones. But they decided to panic. You should have seen the eyes. They weren't staring. Those really. What? I still don't like that you consider that staring. Because we just want to see what's going on. And, well, that day was pretty exhausting, and I would have rather seen some clouds and you little sheepy, come on, I want to count you. So I can fall asleep finally and rest in total harmony. Forget it. Not on that flight. But they did the best. I even could take the blanket along. And I gave it to the doggy, the little one. They asked me, oh well, since you're already here, could you please straighten out the dog, so to speak. He has no manners, he does what he wants, and we are headed to the ski section. I didn't want to do that in the first place. But I didn't know that little one was a 17 months old golden retriever. So let's think of something they will be surprised of and have big eyes and well, make them think for a moment. And I could hear them stomp on the outside thing where you could sit on in the summertime, because that entire area was snowed in. So was I. Could hear them, and I would just rearrange everything the dog already took apart, and before I try to keep it in the closet until they come back. And I had a dog. This dog was, wow, full of energy. Of course he was. He couldn't run all day long. So I had to take that too, make him a bit tired. So when they returned, I had my magazine in there. Oh, by the way, may I ask you something? Because they asked me too. So, did everything go well? And did you feel good? Great. I had a good time here. And you? Oh, it was packed, but it was something else for a change again. Great. Oh, by the way, is that your sweater? One of your... Does somebody own this? I mean? Why? Because your dog, might have borrowed it for a while from a neighbor, and I had no way to find out where the next neighbor may be. Just waiting for that thing to dry, although it's dried by the cold. What else happened? Nothing. You wanted me to take care of the dog, and I think I need 2 more days, and he'll be okay. So will you. So will you. I was the incarnation of something German. And one of them... Well, that's another story. But they had no idea that Poltergeist was no English bird. Just like kindergarten. They wanted their conversation. So, that's how it went there. They had no idea in the States how much German is in their lives. They may be prejudiced, but they picked it up and thought it was a good idea. Then let's surprise them a little. Aren't we famous for that too? Surprise! Da-da, da-da. Attention! Everybody smile! They thought, if she takes care of the dog, we'll get a dog that is brilliantly, working correctly and What are you looking for? Why aren't you tired? That dog is quite a handful. No, he isn't. Maybe if you call your claws hands, it could be that his nose, the tip of his nose fits in there. But that one is a giant to me. You always have to think that over. If you're 2 meters tall, I'm just 165 or something like that. And he needed to be controlled right away. So he knows that he's not the boss. And so I taught him how not to be the boss anymore. You simply neglected him. You didn't find out that he needs more. That one would run around all day long and not quit. But he will have to, I thought. Oh, I don't know what I'll be doing. Maybe I'll teach him some German, I thought, and surprise them even more. So if somebody else should ask you, oh, you were in Germany? Oh, our shepherd just has babies. Would you take care of that? You might know how to do that. You visited Germany. I certainly did. Yes, and they're still living with us, and they're quite a handful. Somebody must have said something like that. Almost like that before, I think I remember. Yes, you did. Because in that very moment she is right. I just had set one foot on German ground, and now I'm automatically able to just get everything in order. And everybody sit and smile. Have a good time. I said sit. Did I say answer? No, I didn't. Right. That was your first mistake. You won't do it again. Let's go to... And my mistake would be if I don't end this right away, because people around here are trying to sleep. See? How lovely it is that you could speak about that for good. Maybe. But everything you are always curious and always wanted to know, a part of that is taken care of. Pleased to have met you. I guess you remember my name. But what's puzzling you is just the nature of my game. I just waved a little. Yeah. So, immediately we are starting with the next episode of my various strange reactions to my various different reactions to German behavior. No, we can't do that right now. I don't have a Sharpie. I would like to know where they brainwashed. You can do that too. Everybody over here, simply because an orange or pumpkin with legs is trying to hide somewhere. Kind of vegetable. I don't know, but at least I'm not getting the color wrong here, and then have to insult everybody who wants to not to be called black or white. God knows what. People always can make stuff more complicated as it should be. And if it should be complicated, there has to be some fun in it. At least they remember. And they should pet the dog a bit more often. You never know when you need it. And never forget that you're a giant and stronger than I am, and I may toss that dog around. May have to toss that one around for 3 days straight. But he has to say, okay, I'm done. I'm done. You win. I know. Good doggy. Sweet little doggy. The puppy. Sometimes they called him that. He was no puppy in that case. That's one thing. Let's clear up one thing. Mr. and Sir von und zu Wuff. Let's understand one thing. You'll stand in the corner right now. And he did. Respect, I thought. I made him stand in the corner. That was so depressing to that poor dog, but just the nature of my game. And he could play anyway. And now I'm stopping. Good night. Was that an overdose? Some people may think so. But some people may think, at least it's not boring. It was a nice vacation. And being snowed in with the right people is making that all more enjoyable. Because you could see the stars, and they went and since it was so dark around, you could see them. And I thought, I wish my parents and my family the best. Because I'm having a good time and can make new experiences. They're essential. Everybody should have to listen to stuff like that sometime in his life or her life. Then they have something more they can compare. And not only be confused. I'm the confused one. Because I had to remember the British Airways flight, where everybody was nice. And yet somebody else freaked out because their forms weren't correctly done. Bye.